there's a good chance that CHP could actually just let it go if it continues to be this dangerous. And now that we appear to be exiting onto surface streets, that really makes me worry, because now you're going to have cross traffic, you're going to have pedestrians, you're going to have red lights, you're going to have stop signs. So a lot of other elements that would make this even more dangerous than it already has been. It's one thing to be on the freeway headed one direction with all of the other cars. It's a whole nother thing to have cross traffic. And unfortunately, that's kind of where we're heading to right now as we venture into Southgate on Firestone Boulevard headed westbound.
Yeah, we saw that CHP cruiser make every effort to not lose that vehicle. They didn't think they were pulling over by getting off the freeway at that point. They knew this chase was going to continue, and apparently they're going to stay on this driver right now. But again, Eliana, as you said, when they get off and they are on these side streets, it gets more dangerous. Now looking to make a turn there to the left, and they are. Is it a situation where they can start to look at a pit maneuver in this case? They don't know who the driver of this car is.
Yeah, in this case, if his speeds were to slow down significantly to about 35 miles an hour, then they could do a pit maneuver on this guy. It's a much different situation than the pursuit we were on earlier when they knew the guy was armed or had a good reason to believe he was. In this case, they don't think this guy is armed. They just think he's trying to avoid police at high speeds. He may have driven himself into some sort of dead end or alleyway. So let's see if he's able to navigate through this. If he's able to navigate through this alley, that would lead me to believe that he probably knows this area pretty well. I wouldn't drive into an alley if I didn't know that I was going to be able to work my way out of it. And in this case, this guy was able to do just that. So perhaps this is the area that he's familiar with in Southgate, despite this starting all the way in Pomona.
Yeah, we say that just because 9 times out of 10 we've seen that over and over and over, you know, where they go to a place they know and can navigate themselves out of that situation, or he just got lucky and was able to make their way out. And now it continues, and looking to change lanes, going straight though through the intersection. It looks like a red light there.
Yeah, running red lights.
We have to apologize. We've lost Ileana at this point. We're going to get right back to it. We have your scene for you once again. And Ileana, we can see that driver now looking to make a left turn.
Yeah, he just made a left turn here onto a smaller street called Salt Lake Avenue. This is mostly commercial here through Southgate, so hopefully we won't see too much in the way of traffic here. A lot of these businesses, of course, are already shut down for the day, but you do get a lot of big rig traffic through here, especially being so close to the 710 freeway. But coming up to Santa Ana Street here coming up, and then if he does go, there's a big rig blocking, exactly what I was worried about. And there you go.
Oh, my goodness.
Big rig in his way, and he's going to navigate around him. Wow.
Wow.
Good thing he saw him. Good thing he saw him. That would have been bad. But continuing on Salt Lake Avenue at about 70 miles an hour, folks, on surface streets here in Southgate.
All right, so what they can do right now, follow the driver, keep up with these speeds, and try to come to a resolution. Spike Strip doesn't seem likely, the driver doesn't seem to be following any sort of pattern, and as you said, mostly going too fast for a pit maneuver at this point. So I'm assuming that they just try to stay behind the driver and see what they're going to do next.
Yeah, and one of the options that they do have is actually not staying behind the driver at all. They could just have the airship follow him, and the airship could even turn its night sun off so that this guy will think, hey, I've lost the police. I'm good. I'm just going to go home. And when they do, that's when police would swarm in, because the airship will still be there. They'll continue to track him even though he doesn't see them. So if it gets to that situation, they could go into what's called surveillance mode, where he wouldn't see the units. They would be there, but they might be a mile behind, and just swoop in when the time is right. But for now, this CHP officer really not giving this guy any room, no room to breathe, as he just makes this turn here on Florence Avenue.
Yeah, that officer was right on the tail. I almost thought they were going to try a pit maneuver at that point, but they are staying with him. They're letting that driver know that they are right there. They're not giving up, at least not at this point. And again, we're on Florence Avenue, as you said. We are going to keep following this right now as we see what the driver does next, and CHP right behind them.
Yeah, and again, wanted for reckless driving out of Pomona, making his way onto the 60 and the 710 freeways at about 100 miles an hour before exiting here onto surface streets in the Southgate area. Again, CHP in pursuit.
All right, Ileana, thank you so much. We'll have more on our app, NBCLA.com. The Tonight Show's coming up next.
On CBS, but we are going to continue this coverage of this high-speed pursuit on KCAL Channel 9. So we invite our viewers to join Stephen Colbert, the rest to please join us on KCAL Channel 9. And we have this breaking news. We've been talking about this high-speed pursuit, and there have been high speeds. Right now you're looking at relatively lower speeds that we've seen all evening long, and we want Desmond Shaw to pick up this pursuit, because Des, you have a lot of information to decipher here. We were talking about the CHP being involved, this starting in Pomona. So at one point they were involved. Now Southgate Police Department has been notified. However, as you have told us before, when the CHP takes up a chase, you know, they're on it until they give it up. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, sometimes if they just aren't interested once it's something is on.
Not even showing any sign of falling back yet. You can see he's continuing through another red light here, past cross traffic. We haven't seen a whole lot of cross traffic as he approaches these intersections, but we haven't seen a lot of hard braking either. He's just zooming right through them and trying to continue this ride here. He knows that pressure is on, and he's just not stopping.
The violations are piling up with each stop sign that he blows through, with each red light that he blows through. There is a point at which it becomes felony evading, and that is to be decided by whoever the prosecutor ends up being in this case once this suspect is brought to heel and brought into custody, which we can assume will in fact happen. That is the desired outcome here for
that's right, Mark.
everybody.
Now making, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, we just lost you for 1 second. I didn't mean to interrupt. We're now making a right turn going westbound or eastbound on Florence Avenue. Eastbound Florence back towards the 710. No, he's making another right turn. He's starting to do a real loop around here, and that might provide some opportunity for a spike strip. He's now making another immediate right. That's when you start to see real signs of hiding out. If he sees any opportunity here to dump the vehicle, you just might see that happen here. But he is showing a lot of immediate right turns here. Very random, unclear whether he's familiar with this neighborhood. But again, we should reiterate, this all started, Mark, all the way out in Pomona and made his way here into South LA. So he's toying with these cops, and they are not letting up whatsoever. You have to wonder what other charges may be stacking up here aside from all the traffic violations. What crimes have been committed to warrant this kind of a chase? This is a wild and dangerous pursuit, just about the 6th or 7th that we've seen this week. But now coming to a stop suddenly in the middle of Florence Avenue at Stafford Avenue behind the building. CHP now cornering the suspect behind this building right here as we try and come around here. It looks like they are out of their vehicles, and he's inching forward. Suspect inching forward, and the pursuit is going to be back on here.
Well, no.
Somebody may have gotten out. Oh, no, that's
that
a different vehicle.
That was another car, yeah.
That was another car. I apologize. We've got one person being extracted here. Rob, did you see anybody else? Just the driver. Only the driver inside the vehicle. The doors have been popped open. They're going to pop open that trunk in a second, but this does appear to be a code 4. The driver of that Infiniti now being taken into custody after, as I mentioned, just a wild and insanely fast chase. Started in Pomona, ending all the way out here in South LA. Finally, thankfully, nobody hurt here, Mark.
All right. Well, it's a good outcome for everybody involved, really. Even the suspect, when you think about it, because he could have been severely injured or even killed in a crash had that happened. So everybody is going to be safe here. The suspect going to be safely placed in jail, and the officers will be safe and will get to go home at the end of the evening. And the pursuit is now over. Another pursuit ending in Los Angeles on this Friday night. Chris Christie in Air 7, thank you for your coverage. Thank you for your crew and your pilot. And that concludes our coverage of this pursuit that has happened tonight in Southgate in the southern part of LA County.